is real. Tell me how to feel, tell me how to heal. God help me now, God help me now.
Hello and welcome to the Indie Tea Talk podcast. I'm Adam and this is Oliver Pinder, your hosts for a journey into indie music across the north. Tune in as we share a brew with some of the most exciting indie artists around, exploring their unique melodies and creating a space where you can discover your favourite music like never before. And whilst you're here, please show your support by hitting that subscribe button. It's a massive help to us and the amazing artists that we feature. This week on Indie Tea Talk, we're joined by one of Yorkshire's brightest rising stars, Ellur. With her emotionally charged indie pop bangers, an unshakable energy, and storytelling that dives headfirst into love, heartbreak, and self-doubt, Ellur has quickly become a standout name in the UK music scene and beyond. With her most recent EP, God Help Me Now, appearances at South by Southwest and Reading and Leeds, as well as her debut album on the horizon, she's proven that she's one to watch. Based in Halifax, Ellur's sound blends the sharp edge of alt pop with the grit of northern indie, pulling her influences from the likes of Sam Fender and Wolf Alice, whilst crafting something uniquely her own. We're so excited to have her in the studio for a chat and some live performances that you won't want to miss. So, without further ado, please welcome Ellur into the studio. Hello.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm good, how are you?
Very good, very good. And we've got an extra special guest today. We've got Oliver Pinder here as well, which is quite amazing. I'm really, really glad to have you here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. It's nice to be back. You've done loads of the place since I was last here, which is nice.
Yeah, it never stops rolling. we keep building and we keep making stuff, and hopefully people keep coming.
Nice. That's what you want.
That's it. So, for anyone that's just discovering your music, how would you describe your music or what you do in your own words?
I always really struggle with this question. I think I'd say it's as honest as I can be and putting all of these honest, big feelings into music that you can move around to, I guess. I don't know. Like, I think there's a lot of influence from Sam Fender, like you mentioned. There's a lot of influence from Haim.
Yeah.
And but then also I love pop music, like I love Chapel Roan and I love Charlie XCX and I love I also love like folk music as well, like the EP that I just did, that was a lot of influence from like Big Thief and who else? I also take a lot of influence from Bjork as well. So there's a whole mishmash of stuff going on there. But it's just at its core, it's just all about me basically expressing myself and living these experiences that I've lived and then writing about them.
I think
kind of
it definitely, like, I definitely see the themes with Sam Fender, like that, the big energy, but really raw themes as well. Mm-hmm. Like they kind of go in juxtaposition to each other and the clash, but make this really exciting, really energetic thing. Mm-hmm. And I think that your tracks definitely have got that theme running through them.
Yeah, I mean, what he does is super powerful because he's like, you know, a bloke being really honest about how he feels, which I think in this day and age is refreshing for people.
Yeah.
I'm super inspired by him. I think he's got a lot to say and he's not really scared to say it. So I like that.
Yeah. And you're kind of running with that theme as well, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I don't think you're trying. You're running with it 100%.
Successfully,
yeah.
Thanks.
So take us back a little bit. How did your journey begin? What sort of inspired you to pursue music seriously?
Well, I mean, my dad's in a band, so that was kind of the thing of like, my dad does it and he's awesome, so I want to do it.
I love that.
Grew up like going to their gigs, going to festivals, meeting really cool bands, being really cheeky and going into dressing rooms when I was like 3 or 4. And I think I ended up walking around in a pair of high heel boots that were Joss Stones, and she was like trying to get them off me because she was going on stage. I was walking around in them when I was like 4. Just, you know, having a musician as a parent has been the biggest thing really, because, you know, there was instruments in the house, so I was always picking them up. It was like all I wanted to do was play piano and write, and I think I started writing really young. I mean, I say I started writing when I was about 11 because that was kind of the first time I wrote like an actually structured song. But I was making stuff when I was like in primary school, just on GarageBand, and I've always had an interest in like the creation of music and also the performance of it. And then as I got older, it became about, okay, like I want to actually be a writer and really, I don't know, figure out like how people write songs, because I've started releasing music when I was like 20, and in my opinion, I don't think the songs at the time they were the best work that I had, but like now I think the stuff that I write is a lot more crafted, and I'm just really, really interested in how songs take shape and how most of the time they kind of come from this like crazy weird place where I've got no control over what's happening. I'm just saying and singing things and then putting like little pieces together. And then sometimes, you know, if I really want to write a song, I'll sit down and force myself to write a song. And because of these tools that I've kind of picked up over the years, I'm able to do that. So it's just, I suppose the thing that inspires me to do music now is just having an interest in like the craft of it, and also it just being the thing that kind of keeps me going.
How does that kind of transfer to how you started doing music?
I think it's similar. I was just going to say, do you remember the first song you wrote? Like the first fully fledged, like, oh, mum, dad, I'm proud of this type of thing.
Yeah. It was called Life's Like a Roller Coaster.
Nice.
Can
you still play it?
Oh no, it was an a cappella song.
Right.
So there was no chords, which is, you know,
easier to remember than
you
can have a rendition of that.
Me on a chair, like at the family function, like
nice.
Everyone listened to me.
Yeah.
And then like I just started singing about life being a roller coaster.
Were you like that when you were young? Did you kind of want to be a performer in
the
that
centre of
way?
attention?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I was the same. Like I remember like putting on little shows. We used to stay in Scotland all the time, and there was like this thing outside the house which was like essentially just like a formation that could have been a stage. It was just like realistically it was just like maybe wood or something.
It was a stage for you though.
And I was like, Mum, Dad, come watch me. This is like my bit.
I love that.
But I feel like, because I was, obviously it's interesting with the way that you are so interested in writing. I feel like a lot of people are kind of lean more towards one or the other, but I feel like what I see from you is you're amazing at writing songs, but actually also amazing on stage. And it's kind of like, I remember coming to one of your really early shows at Hedgerow House.
Oh God, yeah.
I think, was it like your first proper headline gig maybe?
that was my first headline.
And
I absolutely blagged that. I was on a night out with the promoter.
Oh, really?
And he was drunk, and I was like, do you want to put me on at Hedgerow? And he was like, yeah, sure. Like, you, headline slot.
Nice.
Sounds good. And I had no fans. Like, I don't even think I'd released the song yet. But yeah, there was like, I think maybe like 20 people there or something, but it was amazing. Great.
But hang on. So I vividly remember having a conversation with you. And I think, wasn't that the first time, we might be on about a different Hedgerow show, but the first time that Sally and your kind of team came to see what you do?
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, because it was all of the things happened when I started working with Dance the Radio and with Sally and stuff. That was like kind of a COVID thing, like during lockdown. So gigs weren't really happening.
Yeah.
We actually did a show together.
When I was doing the...
during COVID,
my writing project,
Yeah.
A social distancing gig.
Yeah. It was a sit down. We did a matinee and an evening do.
2 gigs in a day.
I was really drunk for the evening do.
Oh yeah.
I think you were. I think I remember that.
Like they were like, I think that was like, oh, we can't like give you a fee, but you can have a bar tab and like, you know, we'll just pay for it. And they brought the receipt out. And it was like, it wasn't just me. Like all my friends were there as well, obviously.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, no, that was mad.
But yeah, Hedgerow, that was like the first time.
But I remember from that gig being like, it's clear that you want to be on stage.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Some people are really insular, and you were just like, right, I'm giving it my all.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, the performance side of it was kind of the main driver for like a really long time. I just wanted to be a pop star. I wanted to be really famous, and you know, I wanted to be like literally like Chapel Row, and outfits, like makeup, hair, wireless mic, running down the middle of the, you know, whatever it's called, that runway that you get at really big shows.
There's still time.
I still want to do that, but like I realised like a lot of that was more and like an internal kind of thing of like, I don't know, just the reason I was chasing that wasn't for the right reasons, I think. And now I've realised that I actually just love making music, from the writing through to the production, through to the campaigning side of it, you know, thinking of visuals and then turning it into a show, I think, in order to promote it. You know, that's kind of where I'm at now.
Because there's so many other aspects to it that like the average, you know, listener just would never even imagine. Like you were just saying then, there's so many steps from going from sat in your bedroom or wherever you choose to write a song to it then being like out on Spotify, pressed to vinyl, performed at a gig, whichever like way that you're going to then consume it. The stages it goes through to get to that point are so vast, and there's so many options that you can go down. And like, it's great that you enjoy them bits because they take up so much of your time that people just don't even realize.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I think especially having such a small team, like there's a lot that everyone kind of has to do in order to. Whereas if there was a lot of money involved and, you know, I was signed to maybe a major or whatever, it'd be really different because you'd have teams of people all working on these tiny little aspects of it. Yeah. And there's a lot of things that my label and my management do that even for someone who's like independent like Oliver, like who you have to literally
do the
you're
sphere.
You're the everyman. Do you know what I mean? You're doing everything. And I think that music's becoming a really, really difficult career to pursue, and they're making it more difficult. It's harder and harder for independent musicians, particularly people from like, you know, backgrounds that aren't as privileged and stuff.
It's turned into like a middle and upper class sport, I think, is what
100%.
the common story is. And I think that's kind of a big point in like funding yourself for a career can be really challenging. Like, I've got a full-time job, do covers gigs on the side to pay for the music, and
I admire that so much.
It's like,
that's crazy.
it's a hard graft. And I think like what is really nice to see from your perspective is you've been able to build that team, and it's clear that everyone's passionate about it. Whereas if you were signed to a major, they might be your best friends today, but like they'd soon drop you tomorrow.
They terrify me.
Yeah, I speak to so many people that are like, first album going great, and then like first album comes out and like it's sold really well, but it's not sold just quite well enough, and they're about to get dropped, and it's like, oh god.
Musicians are so incredibly sensitive as well. Like, that's how you are able to create, is by being sensitive to what's going on around you. Because like, how else are you supposed to write music? So to be like constantly, I don't know, compared to how well you're streaming, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's a kind of like an endless cycle of like, it's just going to keep getting.
Yeah.
It's only going to grow, isn't it? It's on this problem in like the way that the music industry is set up is only going to get more stratified.
Someone needs to come in who just cares about music, who has a lot of money.
Yeah.
And just fix everyone's problems.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you know?
If I won the lottery, I'd do it.
I think it's scary as well with like AI, and now, and I'm not going to get too far in this rabbit hole. I'm really sorry, but like I think things moving on, it's like terrifying as to where it could go. But you did a lot of the, from what I remember, but you did quite a bit of the work in covers gigs early on, didn't you? Like that was
absolutely.
a big part of your life.
I mean, that's like kind of still my reality now a little bit. I worked. I was at uni and I dropped out, and then I worked in a sandwich shop for a bit, and I was like trying to do music, and then I was like, oh sorry, I don't have time to do this anymore, and then it got quieter again, so I had to get another job, and it's been a kind of couple of years now of like in and out of work. At the minute I'm like kind of just floating around. I'm not really like, you know, I just keep picking up odd jobs here and there, doing a bit of gardening, a bit of cleaning. It's just like how it is. And the funny thing is, I actually don't have time now to have a job. Like if I need a job, like financially, I'm lucky enough to like, you know, get on well enough with my mum to live at home and just pay her, and it's very low pressure. But you know, if I was renting or, you know, had a mortgage or whatever, like it'd be impossible to do what I'm doing because I'm working full time as a musician for very little money. And that's just my reality. And I've just got to keep going at it and keep crossing my fingers and keep working hard and writing and whatever. And then hopefully, you know, circumstances will change. But it's having a lot of, it's kind of every day feels like a leap of faith, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm, you know, I knew that was the battle that I picked when I signed up to do it.
Absolutely. And it's a shame, like we were saying, it's a shame that is the battle that you have to choose. But there is a lot of there's a lot of rewards on that path, not just financially, but you know, personally. You come out of the, you know, at the end of it all, you will have had a very successful and very rewarding career.
Yeah, absolutely. Career satisfaction is like my number one priority. Like, I would rather be on my arse now and, you know, be worried about things now than get to like 50 and feel like I didn't do the thing that I should have been doing. Do you know what I mean?
List of what ifs.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
So your new EP, God Help Me Now, it's got quite a powerful title. Can you tell us the story behind the name?
Well, it's just the title of one of the songs, really. God Help Me Now, I wrote it probably over a year ago. Oh, I can never remember. Like, I'm so bad with timings. But yeah, I wrote it with Ben Francis Leftwich and Jack Leonard in Jack's garden on day one of like 2 days that we were doing together writing. And I was just like talking to them about how shit, literally that conversation we just had. Yeah. About how shit I was feeling about the fact that, you know, I felt like nothing was really happening, and, you know, I was building this career and everyone kept telling me it's going to be a slow burn, you're not going to see overnight success, like you need to just keep working at it. And I was like, yeah, I know, but it was just getting me down. And also I think that on top of then everything that's going on in the world and was going on in the world at the time, which I would say is nowhere near as bad as things are today, feeling shit about something that felt so small and like insignificant compared to like the wider scale of problems that the world had. And it was just feeling all of these feelings and feeling really overwhelmed about it. And I think I've also kind of found religion a little bit in music. I've never been religious. I grew up atheist. That's kind of how, well, agnostic atheist, like not really sure what to believe. And through being a musician and through writing, and this weird thing that I keep going on about that kind of just comes in out of nowhere, that feels like it's out of my control. It feels like this divine thing that's kind of happening to you when you write a song out of nowhere. And that has just made me believe in, I don't necessarily know what religion it is, but it's a spiritual feeling. Yeah. So it's all of these things. And running up to writing God Help Me Now, I found that there was always like this imagery in all my songs of God. And like there's a song that I wrote ages ago called Best Face On, like the hook line in that is, God, I really hate you sometimes. And it's like meant to be like, God, I really hate you, like just saying it, but then also like, you know. Yeah. And I always played around like religious imagery, and I don't know why, because I never had an interest in religion. And then I realised, oh, I actually do. I'm very interested in religion, and you know. So yeah, I guess that's
the subconscious coming out, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of it. It was just, and writing with Ben and Jack as well, like is always fun. Like they're really brilliant writers. They just kind of have this weird energy where when you're in a room with them, everything you say feels like a lyric. It's really weird.
I get that.
So yeah, but it was a really fun time writing that song.
It's nice to find people that you work well with and it kind of feels just natural. Because I like God Help Me Now, to me, I think is one of the most, personally, it's rare that I listen to a song longer than a month. I feel like I'm quite a passive listener these days. But it's one of those songs that has just stayed in the playlist for the last however long it's been out.
That's so awesome.
And I think it's just got such a powerful meaning, but I didn't realise kind of how literal the meaning kind of was. I didn't know if it was just more kind of word play.
Well, this is the thing. I think it's like an exclamation of like, oh, God help me. Like just very kind of,
we'd all probably say on a daily basis.
But like, it was actually kind of like looking up into the ether, being like, can someone give me a sign that I'm doing the right thing? Otherwise I'll just sack it all off and do something else. But that song weirdly has kind of been my fire up the arse, carry on, keep going.
It's terrifying making that decision though, and having that kind of power.
I feel like I make that decision like every day.
Yeah. I think, did it make it easier? Because I've always had kind of, obviously not many people in my kind of sphere of like family unit necessarily get the music thing. Was it kind of easier having your family kind of, have they been helpful in terms of pushing you in the right direction?
They're so supportive.
That's amazing.
Obviously, my family on both my dad's and my mum's side have supported my dad through doing this. And they just want me to be happy. And what a privilege that is, like to be able to, you know, say that and genuinely feel that. You know, they've always been championing me and, you know, trying to make sure that I'm doing things for the right reasons. And I've learnt a lot of things, you know, on my own, and I've very much, like, this journey has been about me just figuring things out. Because I think, especially with like my dad being a musician, the music industry was very, very different back then to how it is now. So it's kind of, he couldn't really ever give me industry advice apart from like, be careful, don't sign any crap deals, you know.
And it changes every day, doesn't it?
Exactly. But the support and the acceptance of them being like, we're happy to, like, I'm 24 and I live with my mum, you know, they want me to succeed, you know. So
you said that every song you write is a bit like a diary entry. And we've kind of gone over that a little bit, but how does it feel to be able to bring that vulnerability to life across this project? How has it felt to be able to get all that out into this EP?
I think vulnerability is like really important for me, just for being a writer. Like it's one of the tools that I kind of picked up along the way, was like, you're not really going to get anywhere unless you just start being honest with yourself. I had writer's block very briefly when I was working on the EP, because I didn't really know what was coming. I didn't know if it was going to be another EP or an album, or, you know, I wasn't really sure what I was writing for. And I had this block, and I watched this video of Joni Mitchell saying the only reason you ever have writer's block is because you're scared to say something, or you're scared to write about something. And that's what's stopping you. And that video, like, really, someone sent me it, I can't remember who, but it really changed my perspective on writing, because I realised that I was kind of writing about the same, like, for example, Your Dog was kind of like an end point on me writing songs about this particular relationship. And yeah, like, that was kind of like, okay, I think I've said what I need to say about that now. But up until that point, I kept kind of writing songs about it, but they were a bit more pop, they were a bit more vague, they were a bit more just like pop lyrics. And that, you know, for pop writers, like, that's really great, but I realised I'm not a pop writer.
Right.
Something else, I don't really know what to call it, but yeah, I just realised I was not hitting what I needed to hit, and then not scratching the itch I needed to scratch with songwriting. And so I suppose that's why I'm so vulnerable now, because I'm just like,
it's interesting.
The tap's gonna stop. Really.
It's interesting you say that. At, you know, the point where you struggle to get things down on paper is the point where you're venturing into some very risky territory. And I think that's a great notion. I've never really thought of it in that way, but it seems so honest and so true. And I suppose it's striving to get to that point where you're thinking, oh, should I write that?
If you're risking something, then whatever is about to come out is going to be really good. That's what I think, because like with Your Dog, like when I first played it to Joel, my producer, and with Morning Song as well from the EP, I was like, my heart was pounding, because I was like, oh, some of the lyrics in here are really, really just saying it how it is, and I'm scared that people might ask me what it's about and blah, 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 and, you know, that kind of thing, that risk is like, it's always worth it, I think. Yeah,
it's really literal. And I think, like, particularly with Your Dog's a really great example of like something where you're able to just kind of say it exactly kind of the way you're thinking. And yeah, it's one that it's not even like tempting to ask questions around, because it's like it's in your face. Do you know what I mean? Like it sounds like you had a really rough time in that relationship, and I'm sorry to kind of hear that. But I've lost my train of thought.
No, it's fine.
It's a great song though.
Thank you. Thanks.
Let's take it up a notch. It's time for the all important question. It's what everyone's been tuning in for.
Okay.
It's all about the tea.
Oh, the tea.
So if your music or your artistic persona was a flavour of tea, what would it be and why?
Is this the tea that I've brought with me?
Yes, yeah. Ideally.
I need to like figure out how it ties in. Well, I think it fits with my. This is Yorkshire tea, which is the close up. This one, Yorkshire tea, decaf. I've chosen this because it's the one I drink the most, which I suppose kind of ties in with me just being vulnerable and honest, because I could have picked like something really jazzy, like a hibiscus or something, to be like, I'm fruity, I don't know. But this is literally just what I drink, because if I have too much caffeine, I'll have an anxiety attack. So yeah.
Perfect.
That's it. I think too much, I guess.
When I was driving over, I was like, I wonder what tea she'll pick. And I was like, I'll be really disappointed if it's not Yorkshire.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking the same thing this morning, you know.
And I think that just because you are kind of, there's people, and I've listened to a few of these podcasts in kind of reference to today. I was kind of like, right, what am I getting myself ready for here? But people go off the cuff and choose something a little bit different. But
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
you are also a big part of your brand is the fact that you're from Yorkshire. And like, we grew up relatively close in distance. I live slightly anyway, but I suppose what impact does living in Halifax have on your music, I suppose, is the...
Well, it's just such a beautiful place. Like, I'm so proud of where I'm from. Like, the people, the community, like, everything about being from up north is just, like, such a blessing. But yeah, but like, I never really know what to say when people ask me this, because it's just...
What flavour of tea are you?
Yeah, they ask me all the time. You would actually be surprised. Like, I do get talking about Yorkshire tea quite a lot. I think it's a northern thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
But
the biggest northern
yeah.
argument.
Yeah.
But then like Tetley's, I swear Tetley's like in Leeds. Like, that's like a Leeds.
I don't care, it's shit, so...
Well, anyway.
Wait, we can swear on this, can't we?
We have now, so yeah, of course we can. Yeah.
Yeah, Yorkshire is just a wonderful place, and it's been built by wonderful, wonderful people. All the working people in Yorkshire have just built it into what it is, and it's somewhere to be proud to be from.
Yes. Right then, so it's time to go in for your first live session. Do you want to let us know what you're going to be performing for us?
I'll be performing a song from my EP called Morning Song.
Perfect stuff. Thank you very much.
Trace the letters, folded corners, I refrain from calling you. You bring the car around. Are you sober? I think I get you, and then it's over. Waking me up, and you're here, but you're not there, and I have to force myself to want you. You turn into someone else. I'm on you. You turn into someone else. Turn the pages through the motion.
So you've just played at South by Southwest and had an incredible run of live shows, from supporting Blossoms to playing at Reading and Leeds, and BST with Robbie Williams. What's been the most surreal moment for you so far?
I think Texas was pretty surreal.
Yeah.
Like just playing a week of shows abroad, like not in the UK. It's the first time I've ever played outside of the UK. Just like the first day, that was probably it. The first day that we got there, we like flew, we'd like travelled down to London the day before, me and my boyfriend, with my guitar and everything, on the train. Went to the airport hotel and then woke up the next day at like 5, got a 10-hour flight to Texas. By the time we got there, the time difference meant that it was like 10 o'clock at night, but it was like 7 in the morning for us. So we'd been awake like 23 hours. Got off the plane, went to like accreditation to get our like wristbands and lanyards and whatever else we needed to like get into the festival, and literally went straight to the gig. And then like plugged in and played a gig on like 23 hours, no sleep. It felt like that. You've seen that Lady Gaga video where she's like, another club, no sleep. It felt like my first like moment of like, oh my God, this job's like actually insane. And then we got on stage and we had to do this line check, and it was pretty crazy. In front of like a packed room, like it was full. And I was not expecting it at all. Like our first gig there, I was expecting like, obviously because I don't know what my listenership's like in the US really, because I've never played. And it's a festival for kind of industry people as well. So I just didn't know what to expect. And they absolutely like brought the house down. Like it was crazy. They were singing. Like there was people in the front row like literally singing every word and like filming it. And like there was people at the back like, you know, with their arms out for like the whole thing, and people were dancing. It was crazy. But it was just like this weird thing where I was like, I literally wrote these songs, most of them, in my bedroom.
Yeah.
And then sent them to my label, and they were like, yeah, let's put them out, let's see what happens. And like now there's people thousands and thousands of miles away from where I live, like who know the words. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But amazing.
How was your adrenaline off the back of that gig? Like, did you manage to sleep, or was it kind of one of those where you're like, right,
Hardly.
Yeah.
Basically, I got there and like my uncle was there. My whole family went. My whole family were like, we're going. We don't care. Like, I'll sell some stuff. Like, we're coming.
It did look like you had like a big entourage.
Yeah, we really did. And like my grandparents came and everything.
Oh,
But my uncle was there when I got there, and he just passed me a Red Bull.
nice.
And I necked it, and then he just had another one. So I was like 2 Red Bulls down. I think I had like 4 hours sleep that night, and then me and Charlie woke up really early because of like jet lag and stuff at like 7, and we'd gone to bed at like 1 and obviously had no sleep the day before. And just we went to IHOP for some pancakes that morning. It was amazing.
Nice.
It was just like, I'm here. America.
Yeah.
Had you been to America before, or was that
I actually have family out there.
Ah, sick.
So I've been like a couple times, mostly when I was younger and don't really remember it. But I actually went in September with my mum for my uncle's 50th. Just like randomly, we were like, should we just go?
Yeah.
Like, why not? We'll figure it all out later, kind of thing. And that was such a nice holiday because it was just me and my mum. So I've been before, but I've never been for work, if you know what I mean. So it was kind of crazy, but it was great.
Reading and Leeds, I feel like we're probably in a similar shoes in terms of probably that first festival. You probably went to on your own, guessing. Yeah. I remember watching you set at Leeds last year, and like just seeing how proud you were, also then turning, seeing your mum on one side and seeing how beamingly proud she was as she was throwing your balloons up in the air, and then your dad on the other side, exactly the same, like all beaming. How was that moment for you?
That was like just insane. Like when they called me and like told me that I was playing, it was actually Emily and Christian from Radio Leeds. They rang me for an interview, and it was actually like set up so they could tell me that they'd pick me for playing Reading and Leeds. So I did this whole interview, and I thought I've really botched that was a really bad interview. Like I was just not concentrating, and then they were like, "Oh, we've actually like wondering what you're doing like this weekend." I can't remember what dates it was. It's like 25th usually in August.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't know why. And then they told me. And like from that point on, it was just this like build up of like, oh my God, okay, this is like real and this is a real thing. And I don't know, Reading and Leeds was like kind of for me, it's like if I can play that, then I'm on the right track. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like we were saying about the God Help Me Now thing earlier, like around that time it was like I'd looked to the universe for this sign of like, should I still be doing this? I feel like I'm not really seeing any benefit to doing this. It's not really helping me. And then, you know, out of nowhere, I released God Help Me Now and people really, really responded to it. And then we did Reading and Leeds and that was just insane. Like I sobbed my eyes out like on stage.
Yeah, that
like after
wasn't going to
we
bring
finished.
that up.
Yeah. No, yeah, like it was, I don't know, just
like an emotional dump, I suppose.
Yeah.
Just poof.
I mean, it happens to me quite a lot because we usually do like God Help Me Now last, and I don't know why. Just like that song, for some reason, it's really emotional for me. But yeah, we played it at Leeds, and it was just like there was an actual like big crowd there to see us. We weren't expecting it. It was the middle of the day. There's like, you know, a kneecap were on like somewhere down the and they're, you know, they're massive. So I was just like, no one's gonna come. But yeah, and I also saw like this guy from my primary school who I used to like really look up to, who was like front row singing everywhere. He was like a few years older than me in primary school. I was like, why are you here? Why do you know the words to my songs? This is crazy. Yeah, it's really good.
Oh,
That's
God.
so lovely. No, it was, yeah, just a really special moment. Just watching that. And I feel like everyone was beaming with pride, no matter if they knew the songs or they didn't. Like it was just a clear kind of moment that I can imagine in 10 years' time when you're making the documentary.
Yeah.
It'd be like that. That'll be it.
Yeah. That was probably my like, I don't know. Like people say that they had like an I've made it moment, and I don't really think it exists because you're always kind of chasing something else once you've done the thing that you've been looking forward to. But that was like, okay, it's official. Like, I think I can call myself a musician now.
Right.
Now that I've done this.
That's a weird thing, isn't it? Right? Because I had this conversation with quite a lot of people who come on, and like, you know, at what point do you become like an artist? What point do you become a musician as opposed to someone that plays guitar? Like, where is that defining line? And you're saying it's when you play Reading and Leeds. So bloody hell.
Yeah, I mean, I think like I read a book about this, and it was about like how if you want to be considered by other people and taken seriously by other people for the craft that you do, you need to start taking yourself seriously.
Yeah.
And instead of saying like, when someone asks what you do, instead of me saying I'm a cleaner, but I'm a musician part-time, or I work in a sandwich shop, but like I've just said I'm a musician for as long as I could, because I was just like, fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. Yeah.
It does work.
It does, honest.
I'm reading a book that has that exact thing. It might be the same one.
What's it called?
How to make it in the new music industry. There you go.
Well,
it says musician first at the time. I mean, it's a very long book. I'm slowly working my way through it.
Check it
It's
out.
good though.
One page at a time, isn't it?
It's like 600 pages, like big hardback Bible thing.
God, that's nearly 2 years at a page a day, isn't it?
I took it to Rome. I managed to get through a little bit of it this week.
Nice.
So you always bring a lot of energy to your live performances. What's your mindset going into a live show? How do you kind of prepare for it?
A lot of high knees.
A lot of high knees.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. I listen to dubstep sometimes. Quite a lot, actually. Dubstep or like drum and bass.
Yeah?
I love like dance music. I love drum and bass, and I used to listen to bassline a lot as well.
Yeah.
You know, used to go raving back in my heyday. But
You're like 24. How can you be back in your heyday?
because I don't go out anymore. I don't do anything. But yeah, I just get really pumped up, and a lot of stretching, and you know, I think like live performances for me are about like trying to connect with people because they're right there in front of you. Like with social media, every day you're sort of selling something when you're selling your songs and you're trying to get people to listen to you and engage with you as an artist. Whereas when you're there in person, they're seeing you.
Yeah.
And I think this is probably, most musicians can agree, like there's at least 5% of what you're doing on stage is a bit of a character because you kind of have to put a bit of a wall up otherwise, you know. But yeah, it's just kind of about like making sure people have a good time. that's it. Like, if it's entertaining, like, we rehearse all the time, so I know that the songs are fine, like, when we're going up there. It's just about, like, how many people can I make eye contact with and see if any of this is going through or any of this means anything. And especially, like, the stage I'm at, a lot of my gigs are either festivals where no one knows who I am or support slots where people haven't heard of me.
Right.
So it is kind of just convincing people to, like...
Yeah.
Be like, this is good, I promise. Like, I really believe in this, like, and I want you to. And I think the high energy thing is just comes from being a theatre kid and like growing up, like, you know, never turn your back to the audience and all this stuff. Like, I grew up in musicals and at dance classes and performances, and I think there's that thing of every Christmas I'd force all my younger cousins to do a show with me, and we'd put on like we'd make a play and blah blah blah. So it's just kind of something that I suppose I feel is quite a natural thing for me, is just like loving being the centre of attention at all times.
But I suppose it's like we were saying earlier on about how much hard work goes into the background of music. This is the bit where you get to go out and play about. You get to go out and enjoy yourself and really live in the moment and make it something special for yourself and for the guys that turn up. So it's brilliant that you found that way to be able to do it so well and to make such a personal connection with them. So I think it's a great other side to the story from the like diary entry sort of vulnerability to the expressive arts and creation.
Well, I know how much music means to me.
Yes.
And when I go to a gig to see an artist that I really like, it means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And so whether or not it's like I'm watching a support that I've never seen before and I'm really into it, 90% of the time it's just I'm just looking at the face, trying to work out if they mean what they're saying.
Yeah.
And because from the writing stage through to the performance stage, I mean every bit of it. Every part of it is considered and done with purpose, that like then when I'm on stage performing them, I don't have to worry about whether or not I mean it because it's already in the writing and the production and everything. So yeah,
I think that's true. I think a lot of the best gigs that I've ever been to are the ones where I can tell that the musicians and the artist are fully engaged with it. Because if I want to listen to a perfect version of a song, I'll go to album, right?
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they've crafted hours and hours and hours into the recording, the mixing, the mastering, the you know, how it's presented on the vinyl or whatever. I don't go there for that.
Yeah.
I go there to watch them pour the heart out and
absolutely.
to immerse themselves in this amazing music that they've created. So yeah,
I suppose on that, you're about to go on your biggest headline tour in October. Getting the plug in for you.
Boom. I knew there was a reason I invited you over.
How is there anything I suppose you're doing differently, or like I imagine it's bigger rooms, it feels a little bit different. What's kind of the plan? What
I think like I'm super excited about just like making a show rather than like just performing a 30-minute set of the best stuff that we've got. Because, you know, like I don't know if we've mentioned, but I've written and recorded my first album. So there'll be songs from that in there. And that work is like work that I'm so proud of. And so I think it'll just be a case of making sure the music is presented in a way that's true to how it sounds on the record, but also like just creating a feeling. I can get really carried away with these like big production ideas and lights and whatever. But I'm kind of, that's been my thing up until recently. And then recently I've been more about like, how can we do this as simply and effectively as possible so that we can just focus on like what's going on in the room, because all the rooms are different. But I'm so excited to play to the sizes of audience that we're playing to, because the tour we did last year was just like a small run of shows. We played a Porto in Leeds, and then we played
one of the best venues in Leeds.
I love a Porto.
It is a small room
so much. It was completely full, and it was just amazing. Like I love that venue. It's got such a great sound for such a small room.
Yeah.
But I think to play to anyone, whether it's a room full of like 20 people or 1,000 people or, 20,000 people if you're Robbie Williams. I think like to play to anyone and have something that I've written connect with someone else is just, that's the main thing. So it's all going to be about connection and I don't know, creating something memorable and special, but also, I don't know, not too wild because I know where I'm playing. Do you know what I mean? Like, just keeping it simple but real.
Yeah, keeping it real.
Yeah,
I think that's what you need. I think just being able to take a show and play it anywhere and it kind of means something to an audience.
Yeah.
Means way more than a huge production or like a fancy backdrop or whatever it could look like.
I think like the more simple you can make it, for me at the moment with the kind of the budget we have, blah, 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 the better, because I know what's like the most important is me not being nervous and worried, the band feeling okay, no big production-y thing kind of getting in the way of us being able to just do the gig. But the key is like for me is just like rehearsing really. As long as we've rehearsed everything like to the death.
Yeah.
I rehearse every week with the band even if we don't have a gig. And they probably all hate me for it. But I don't care. Just because I think it just keeps us all
Tight.
in the loop with each other emotionally as well and just keeps the vibes there.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So you kind of mentioned there that you've finished recording your debut album. What can you tell us about it? I know you're trying to keep things under wraps for now.
Yeah,
What can you tell us about the upcoming album?
It's just like it's all about self-acceptance and everything I've learned about myself and everything I know about the world and all my experiences that I've had, all wrapped up in, a number of songs. It's very kind of coming of age. I think it's very like an apt representation of being a 24-year-old in the modern world, the current world that we live in.
Yeah.
I've taken a lot of inspiration from, Sam Fender, Coldplay, also Embrace. Like they're always going to have like such a big impact on me because it's my dad. I grew up with it. But then also like my more electronic influences like Bjork and Radiohead and like Tom York and stuff. I really love what he does. But then also like folk stuff as well. I'm really into like the kind of homely sounds and like not homely, that's like the worst word.
I get it though, like warm and
it's just like folk stuff. I don't know, it feels like home to me.
It feels very honest to me.
That's
what I think.
like Adrian Lenker and Big Thief. They have like such a big influence on my writing in particular. And I also love Dora Jar, so she's just had like a huge impact on the whole record, to be honest. But yeah, it's also like each song has kind of got it's tied together nicely, but I think each song's got a completely different thing about it that's kind of, I've always said from the off, like when I first started working with my label, I don't want them to put me in a box, like genre wise. I want to be able to explore whatever I want to explore. And obviously that's like an absolute nightmare for them. How do we market that?
Like nice, clean, defined things.
But I think like it's always been my thing. It's like I'm just all over the shop and like I'm fine with it.
I think that's way more interesting though.
Yeah,
I get really
100%.
bored of if you go to a gig and every song sounds the same.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm done after like song 4 or 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas like if you're able to kind of take you through a journey and kind of delve into all the things that you like, it might be that realistically there might be some songs that some people don't really love and then other songs that is like people's favourite song and I think that's a really interesting
I'm just
mix.
interested in like how music makes people feel, like whether or not, like I talked to the label about like, they're like, well, how are we going to, fit this with this? And they're always like so supportive and, always about building me up. But it's like, how do you want to fit something that's a little bit more electronic and a little bit more dancey with an indie track about being in love and, how do we fit these things together? But I'm like, kind of just like, well, my voice is across it all and I'm going to just be me and this is me being me. And if I keep doing that, then it's, it's going to connect hopefully with people. But yeah, you can only really be yourself. So
I completely
that's what
agree.
the whole album's about.
Yeah. So why not show that through like the different phases of who you are on a daily basis? Do you know what I mean? We all go through moments of energy and
Yeah.
ups and downs. And if an album consists of all those things, when it's trying to tell that story, then good.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah. It's definitely tied together by a lot of chaos, and moments of real, I don't know. I think the thing about being an adult and becoming an adult is like realizing how messy everything is, and how chaotic everything is, and just having that, 10 minutes a day, whether or not it's 10 minutes in a chunk or it's little minutes throughout the day of like, I'm here. The fact that I'm alive is crazy. And I'm really happy to be here, and I've got things to be grateful for and thankful for. And I think that's kind of what the album's about, is like, I've become an adult, what the hell is going on? But also, I'm okay and I will be okay, kind of thing.
Well, I'm really surprised that you've become an adult, because I'm yet to become an adult. So let me know what that's like. Right then, what is next for Ella? Shows, new releases, we know it's coming. Any other bits and pieces in the pipeline? What do we have to look forward to?
Well, I've got a lot of festivals this summer. I think I'm playing like 14 shows or something crazy.
Do you want to name drop a few of them?
Next week, it depends when this comes out, doesn't it?
About the 16th of June, I think.
Okay, so I'll be playing Wake Up.
Yeah.
In Wakefield.
Which we'll have to ask Oliver a little bit about, I suppose, as
absolutely.
well, won't we?
New festival just dropped.
Yeah.
Just dropped. Yeah.
And then I've got Truck Festival, Lazy Days, Latitude, Big Festival. I'm playing the Peace Hall in Halifax.
Oh, nice.
Which I'm so excited about because it's supporting Supergrass, who I love.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have you done that before?
I supported Embrace.
Nice.
I like supported them on a tour, like really last minute a couple of years ago. And they were like, thanks for doing us a favour. Do you want to support us at the Peace Hall as well? To say thanks. I was like, it's an academy tour. Like, I'm not exactly like, but it was very last minute. We had to be there like the next day, and we'd not played big shows yet. So
yeah,
but yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah,
loved it.
I feel like that is one of the big dream venues. Yeah,
you've definitely, that's a bucket list tick. I think
absolutely. But 100%. I'm excited for Wake Up.
It'll be good. It's a really nice room.
Tell us a little bit about Wake Up. Come on, Oliver.
Yeah, okay.
Let's plug it.
My little pitch. So Wake Up Festival, the concept is I really wanted to put together a festival that's affordable, because I think that a lot of festivals nowadays are not kind of normal living wages, but also kind of has a variety of amazing emerging artists. So this year's just our pilot year, so really small this year, just one venue, one stage, 11 artists, maybe not too small.
No, not really.
No. But yeah, we've got Ellur's obviously playing, we've got Do Nothing, Kia, The Kites, L Objectif, me, who am missing, Long Island, Gravy.
Yeah.
Is that it?
I love that you've got Gravy are playing. I love Gravy.
Yeah, I saw them yesterday at Get Together in Sheffield,
they're
and
great.
they were really, really good. And they're like so young, like 17.
Yeah, I don't
16.
think any of them are like, I think they're all kids still. But they're so talented.
Yeah, really,
like imagine
really
when
good.
they're like 24.
Yeah.
Crazy. They'll be playing stadiums. I know it.
But so yeah, it's going to be a great day. Basically, it'll be good fun. You'll be there as well.
Is the ticket still for sale?
Ticket's still for sale. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there.
Only 20 quid a roonies.
Get some tickets.
I'm just in the process of working out who's going to cover my shift at work so I can be there. So it sounds like a great festival, and I love the ethos behind it. It's true to what we do here as well. We're all about supporting emerging music and trying to get it out there and trying to create a platform where people can discover all sorts of local music and
for an affordable price.
Yeah, and there'll be 3 more as well that are not currently in the lineup. So we ran like an apply to play. I'm currently in the process of going through 600 applications, which is amazing that we've had so many people.
That is
and there's so much good talent. So I could probably give you a long list of people that you should get on the pod.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's collab on that.
Congrats, that's amazing.
It's really good. Excited about it, but hard work because I committed to get it announced by Friday.
Oh no.
Yeah. Anyway.
Right then. So what about any little treats you can tell us about new releases?
Yes. June 16th. What can I tell you? I can tell you, I think, if we can we cut this out if I can't tell you it? If I'm not allowed?
Absolutely,
I should probably find out.
Yeah.
I'm going to be releasing a rework of my song Boys with Pixie, which I'm really excited about.
That sounds exciting. That sounds really exciting.
Yeah, I think the Charlie XCX album, the remix album, has really inspired me. I think it's like a really cool way of, I don't know, revisiting your music, and to do it so soon after an album, like she's literally like my God. But anyway, that was the God that I found.
That's it.
When I wrote God Help Me Now. But I just love the idea of like reworking songs, because songs always like evolve and they have changing meanings for you and for people who listen. And Boys, when I first released it, was super angry and aggressive, and I was really upset about things that had happened to me and to my friends. And then when I messaged Lizzie Pixie about redoing it, she was like, just made it so much softer and so much more vulnerable, and I don't know, just a bit more heartbreaking, really. Yeah, and I loved it, and I'm really excited to release that.
How exciting.
It's either released or it's being released, I don't know.
Yes, we will. You know, the wonder of podcasting is that it'll be what it'll be when it comes out. And you know, so another thing that potentially we might cut. Do you want to tell us a little bit about this vinyl?
Yes, I am releasing a vinyl, or I have released a vinyl. The vinyl is the God Help Me Now vinyl. It's the EP and then a small list of songs that I'm really proud of. It features the EP and then Free, Anywhere, Boys, and what's the other one? It's completely gone out of my mind. Oh, Satellites.
Oh, right. Okay.
Just 8 songs that I'm really, really proud of, and I feel have represented me the best up until now. Yeah. Before I release anything else.
I'm really excited about this. I need to grab a copy.
Yeah. Limited edition, right?
Yeah, limited. We're doing a very limited run, just as a sort of, I don't know, like a little ribbon on the end of like that part of my life, because obviously now I've released an album. I mean, now I'm releasing an album and I've made an album. Everything after this is like, I just want to be making albums now. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Sign us up for a copy. We definitely want to partake in that.
Absolutely.
You got 3 sales right here.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Thanks, guys.
So we're going to drop it into your second live track. Do you want to let us know what it is and a little bit about it?
Yep. This next song I'm going to be playing is called Your Dog, and it's about my ex-boyfriend who's a total dick.
Mint. Thank you very much.
It's okay.
Someone told me I should be honest, I can't really face the truth. You had me right where you wanted to let you do the things you do. I thought you might let me love you. I was 16, you were older, what a fool. You were the open window of a moving car, I was your dog. I turned myself into a mirror, I was missing the holes in your walls. Faked it every time under the covers, I guess I didn't get what it was. And I pretended like I didn't care, I was the cool girl who let you shag around. Ringing me crying, fucked out your face with the lipstick all around your mouth. You made me feel like a dog. You made me feel like your dog.
So you've made it all the way to the end. It's been an arduous journey. You've had to put up with me and Oliver. But here we are. We're at the quickfire round. Mm-hmm. So I've got a couple of quickfire questions for you.
Okay.
Can we do one each?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, let's try
fire
it.
through it.
But disclaimer, they're not always very quick fire, so we'll just see what happens.
Okay. I'm open.
So, festival stage or sweaty club gig?
I would say festival stage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's on your playlist right now?
Cameron Winter, the album he just released, I can't remember what it's called, and Brat, because
it's Brat.
Yeah, it's Brat.
Brat Summer Part 2.
And also, there's a new Far Caspian song called First Day. I've had that on repeat since he released it. And
Since the first day?
since the first day he released it. And it's amazing.
What's one thing that you've managed to achieve that you dreamed about as a kid but never expected it to be possible?
Being a musician, I guess. Playing gigs with people who I really like and meeting cool people. Yeah, that's kind of the end of that.
Oliver's been really excited to ask you this one.
Okay.
Yeah, I've cut a bit of the original question.
Mm-hmm.
Worst DM you've ever received?
Oh my God. I actually probably can't tell you. Like
The second part of the question was that you can say on a podcast. But I was like, I feel like I want to know the true answer.
The bottom 10 probably can't tell you who or what
Okay, let's
they are.
Let's tell us the one that's the worst. We'll cut that out and then tell us the one that you can.
Can you give us context? Just like shit men?
Yeah.
That's usually
It's just,
the
let
thing.
me give you a synopsis of the DMs that I
Okay.
receive. And I've actually turned my DMs off because of this. Weird blokes being weird and creepy, whether or not they are, just some guy with like 10 followers sat, and his laptop in his office when his wife's not looking, or, people who I actually kind of know, and I'm like, oh, I wasn't expecting that from him. So, yeah, just creepy blokes. That's always the worst.
Men are pretty shit. And I realise we're in a pretty like male-dominated space, barring Ellur right now. But,
yeah, I don't want to take any responsibility for that.
we are shit.
Yeah.
There's a few good ones. I think.
Oh no,
that's
there's
always
loads of good ones.
few.
Few.
Yeah.
I think a few
I
is
know
probably...
a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, loads.
Really?
But like, I don't know, just there's some really bad ones.
I've
Kind of
always
bring the
just
average
been-
down a lot, don't
Yeah.
they?
The majority of my friends are just women because I just can't. Like, I just think men are pretty
Women are
shit
great
all the
as
time.
well.
Yeah,
Most
yeah.
of the time.
Yeah.
Worst on-stage fail so far?
I did a live session. This is just one of them. I did a live session. It was called An Evening with Ellur, and it was this filmed thing, and I wore this outfit, and it was like this thing where we invited like 20 fans down to come and watch me play the EP for the first time with the band. Got halfway through this first song, which was Morning Song, and I was in the wrong key, and the band like joined in halfway through the song, like in the set, and they all joined in like a semitone up, and we had to start the whole thing again. And it was like time what's the word? Time conscious and stuff, and it was just, that was a massive fail. I also banged my head walking on stage at like a really big outdoor gig because I had a chest infection, and I was like, I'd accidentally double dosed on the painkillers, and I was like off my head on like ibuprofen, like banging my head, like walking on stage with like a big cup of water. Anyway, yeah.
I'm going to rephrase this one as well. What's your biggest ick? Full stop, question mark.
Ick. Ick's like really transformed, hasn't it? Ick used to be just like something that someone did that was a bit awkward. Biggest ick, just being a bell end. Like, just don't be a bell end. Just be a nice person. That's my biggest ick with anyone. Like,
Shit
if you're just
people.
going out of your way to be an arsehole, and I've been an arsehole, like I have, and there's probably people out there who are thinking, you're the villain in my life. But yeah, just be a good person. And if you've not been a good person up until this point, just try and be a better person, I guess. So yeah, just not being nice. That's my biggest ick, I guess.
Fair play. Very true. Absolutely. Do you want to tell us a little bit about where everyone can find all your online content, all your music, videos? Where's best? What tags have you got and how do we do it?
I am Ellur Music on everything. ELLUR Music. And I've got videos on YouTube. I'm on TikTok frequently, although I deleted it a couple weeks ago for the sake of my brain. Spotify, Apple Music, most streaming websites, I think. And you can also find my merch, and my website is Ellur, ELLUR.biz, BIZ.
Wonderful.
And you can see her on tour.
Yeah, you can also catch me on tour. There's some tickets left for all the venues, I think. I'm playing all over the UK. It's my biggest big girl tour that I've done. So please come down and check it out because it's going to be really good.
Specific places they can find tickets?
On my website.
Yep.
You can find tickets on there. I think I'm not going to say any names of any places because I don't actually know.
That's fine.
Just my website.
Website is perfect.
Ellur Biz.
Ellur Biz. That's the one. Well, that kind of wraps up another episode of Indie Tea Talk. Thank you so much, Ella, for coming over, and to our wonderful co-host today, Oliver Pinder. It's been absolutely wonderful having you. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. Remember that you can follow Ella on her socials. That's Ella Music for Instagram and TikTok, and Ella.biz for her website. Mm-hmm. And if you want to give us a cheeky little follow on Instagram as well, we're Indie Tea Talk with an underscore at the end. All our stuff's on YouTube if you want to watch us in beautiful HD, because we're not quite posh enough yet for 4K. We're all on there. But yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Oliver. And until next time, cheers.